Hi, pupils class 6. I welcome you for our science lesson today. Our topic is food and nutrition. What is food? Pupils, food is a solid or liquid that is taken either by eating or drinking in order to provide necessary nutrients to the body. Pupils, what is nutrition? Nutrition is the process of providing the body with the right foods which will enhance growth, development, and good health. Pupils, what are nutrients? Nutrients are the substances that are contained in the foods that we eat. As you know, a normal human being takes 3 meals a day. That is breakfast, lunch, and supper, which is also known as dinner. Pupils, each meal is supposed to be a balanced diet. Pupils, what is a balanced diet? A balanced diet is a meal that contains the three basic food groups. The three basic food groups are proteins, also called bodybuilding, carbohydrates, also called energy giving, vitamins, also called body protective foods. We have the sources of protein. Proteins, we get them from two sources, that is plant protein and animal protein. Plant protein from plants, animal protein from animals. We have energy giving foods. Energy giving foods, also known as carbohydrates, we get them from cereals. Protective foods, which also known as vitamin, we get them from all fruits and all vegetables. For instance, if you eat vegetables or fruits, you get nutrients from there known as vitamin. If you take an egg, you get nutrients for protein. If you take meat, you get nutrients for protein. So, nutrients are the substances that are contained in the foods that we eat. Pupils, food preservation. What is food preservation? Pupils, food preservation is the process of keeping or storing food so that the food remains in good condition for a long period of time without going bad. Pupils, when foods are preserved, they do not lose their flavor. Flavor is the taste, nutrients, or color. Pupils, we have the factors that make food to go bad, and they include the following: environmental factor, germs, and physical damage. Number one, environmental factors. Pupils, environmental factors such as temperature, moisture content, air, and light intensity. Germs. Pupils, germs, which are living things such as bacteria and fungi, which make food to go bad. Number 3, physical damage. Pupils, physical damage such as breakage or smashing. Pupils, now we move to methods of food preservation. Pupils, there are two main methods of preserving food, namely traditional methods and modern methods. Pupils, traditional methods include drying, smoking, salting, use of honey, use of ash, use of low temperature. Pupils, we want to state each of the following and I explain. Traditional methods of preserving food. These are methods that were used to preserve food by different communities a long time ago. These methods of preserving food depended mainly on culture. Most of these methods are still being used in preserving food today. Examples of traditional methods of preserving food, I've said it is drying, smoking, salting, use of honey, use of ash, and the use of low temperature. Number A, drying. Pupils, drying heat from the sun is used to dehydrate the food. To dehydrate means to remove water. Pupils, this in turn kills microorganisms that bring about the rotting of food because they cannot thrive well in drying conditions. It is one of the cheapest methods of food preservation because it uses free heat, energy from the soil. Pupils, examples of food preserved by drying methods include cereals, for example maize, sorghum, rice, wheat, and millet. Tubers such as cassavas, meat and fish, legumes such as beans and bees. Pupils, vegetables such as kales and kunde are also preserved through drying. Number B, smoking. Pupils, food is exposed to smoky fire, which coats it with soot. Smoking coats foods, keeping off bacteria and fungi, therefore making it to stay longer in good conditions. Pupils, heat produced by the fire also remove water from the food, therefore dehydrating the food. Examples of foods preserved by smoking include beef, mutton, pork, and fish. Pupils, let us have an activity of smoking. Step 1. Scrape off the scales from a fish using a knife or metal strip. 2. Remove the internal organs of fish after splitting the abdomen. 3. Wash the fish thoroughly in clean water. 4. Apply some salt and allow it to dry in a smoking furnace. Number C. Salting. Pupils, salting preserves food by dehydration. This prevents bacteria and fungi from multiplying. Pupils, fish, and meat can be preserved by salting. Number D. Use of honey. Pupils, this method involves foods such as meat being completely immersed into a container with the honey. Honey does not allow air to get into the food. The sugar in the honey keeps off bacteria and fungi. Pupils, this makes the food to last longer. Pupils, examples of foods that can be preserved by use of honey are boiled meats and ripe fruits such as bananas and pineapples. Number E. Use of ash. Pupils, dry ash is used to preserve grains such as peas, beans, and green grams. Ash helps to keep off pests such as termites, weevils, and ants from attacking and boring holes on cereals. Pupils, ash is also used to preserve tuber crops such as potatoes. Pupils, we move to the last one, traditional method, use of low temperatures. Pupils, this method prevents microorganisms from multiplying. For example, milk in a bottle is dipped in a container with very cold water. The bottle of milk is usually covered with a large piece of cloth whose hands touch the water. The large area of the cloth increases the surface area for evaporation. Pupils, this method works basically on the principle of evaporation. As the water evaporates from the cloth, the food remains cold. Also, use of low temperatures. A charcoal cooler, which works as a refrigerator, can also be used. Charcoal coolers are especially used in preserving foods in areas that do not have electricity. Pupils, charcoal is used in a charcoal cooler to increase the surface area for absorption of heat because charcoal is porous and black. Pupils, that brings us to the end of today's lesson about food and nutrition. Next time when we are going to meet, inshallah, we are going to learn modern methods of preserving food. I wish you a nice day and an excellent Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.